GQ has come out with its third annual least influential list, and we have the top 10 for you guys. I think this list is actually pretty controversial because there are a number of people that I would consider very influential, especially in this past year. But let's start off with number 10. Number 10 is probably someone I agree with, Tim Tebow, but the only reason why I agree with it is because I'm not the biggest sports fan. Anyone here a big sports fan?
I am, actually.
You are? Okay, so do you feel that this is justified?
No, it's justified, though. His day is gone. Next.
His day is gone.
Yeah, I mean, he's not playing in the NFL. He can't even play in the CFL. Is that even a thing? What do they have in Canada? Yeah, I mean, so yeah, he should be on here as opposed to some of the other people you're
Well, this is the least
right, that's
influential.
what I'm saying. So he's pretty least.
So yeah, I agree, but it's funny that because it's hard, my mind keeps flipping to that they're influential, but they're not. So the number one on this list, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah. Don't steal my thunder.
I'm not going to step out, but I'm just going to say, so that would be the least. So the person who's still a celebrity but has no influence.
Correct.
Okay, so that's it's a little tricky.
It is tricky. It is
I'm
tricky.
not
But
gonna step
I
on
like
you.
that you differentiated between the two because that's important. Okay. Because there are people on here that I totally disagree with. I think that they have been
The
influential.
president's on here. How could he not be?
Would you give the woman
did
a
I
second,
step on it?
please?
I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
Okay.
I'll shut up.
Number nine is Prosecutor Angela Corey, and she was the prosecutor in the George Zimmerman case. I would disagree with that. I think that she was influential. I don't think she was influential in the very beginning when she didn't want to prosecute.
Could you find a less flattering picture of her? Jesus Christ.
Let's look at it again.
Oh my God.
I did not choose that picture, and I don't think that we have any type of hidden agenda.
That woman was just awful. You remember the night that the verdict came down and she came out and she was in like this leather thing and she was making it all about her and she almost had this smile on her face.
She was very smug or something about it. It was weird. Yeah, she was weird that night. She should be on this list.
The whole time, honestly. I thought she did a piss poor job.
Clearly,
Seriously, I thought she did a horrible job humanizing Trayvon Martin, and that was a huge reason why that jury came back with a verdict that I think factually their hands were tied. And you're right, Dave. She made it about her. She wanted that Marsha Cross thing, where you become a celebrity, and then you get on cable news, and then you get a damn judge show. Sit down, Angela Curry. I can't stand it.
All right. But would you guys agree that she was not influential this year?
I would agree.
You would agree?
Yeah,
okay.
because she did nothing. I mean, I bet you a lot of people wouldn't even know that name, but for you very graciously giving it context.
Well, actually, the one case she had to win, she didn't win, so that's not a lot of influence.
She influenced things by her incompetency.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
All right, fair
She showed
enough.
me how to be a better trial lawyer, to not be like her.
Yeah.
All right, the next one I would definitely agree with. Number 8 is Prince George. That outfit is ridiculous.
I bet you they'd have a problem with that outfit in Colorado till the plumbing's changed.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that.
There's Jimmy making a reference to an earlier story we did. Yeah, I would agree with this. Absolutely no influence on my life. I don't think he had any influence on anyone else's life other than a little bit of gossip in the tabloids or, entertainment blogs and things like that.
I think that it's nice that as Matt Kirshen says, he's already better than everybody in England. He's already a better, more important person. That guy right there. It's nice.
Number 7 is Aaron Hernandez. As you guys know, he is the former NFL player who is being tried for murder, among other things.
Oh, yes, that's right. He kept,
Jimmy.
I don't really know what else to say about him other than he scares me because he could have gotten away with, he's being accused of several different cases involving murder. So I guess we'll see how the trial plays out. But I would agree that he isn't really influential. He hasn't done anything to influence anyone.
It seems to me that this list is not really who's the least influential, but it's who has to do a lot to be recognized. Sort of like the baby just had to be born because he was born to the right parents, right? Aaron Hernandez had to kill somebody. Corey had to blow the biggest trial of the year. So it's people that aren't particularly interesting, I suppose, that have done one thing, I guess, that
feel like
pushes it.
I feel like this is a fail list. It's not really a least influential list. It's just, here are the people that, I don't know how many people they named in total, but we're giving you the top 10. Here are the top 10 people that failed in some way or another this year. If they had framed it that way, then I would agree with almost every single person on the list. But they didn't do that. Influential is a completely different category. So number 6 is Miley Cyrus.
Come on, she's not influential?
I think she's influential.
She is influential.
She got twerking to be put in the dictionary.
No kidding. She's influential. So that, you're right. That doesn't make. She's influential.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So they didn't agree with her performance, and I
Yeah.
can totally understand that. If that was the framing, that she failed at her performance,
Yeah,
totally
it's
fine.
more of a fail list. You're
Exactly.
right. That's
You're
better
right.
for. Okay.
All right, so
Drop some more on us.
Except not this next guy.
yeah,
in
Pope
terms of fail.
Benedict.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Pope Benedict?
I
Oh,
like
that's
this
not
guy.
the new. That's the
No,
old
this
Pope.
is the old Pope.
Oh,
That's
old
the
Pope.
old Pope.
Oh, well, then no.
So he's not influenced. Yeah, because.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah, he couldn't be more yesterday's news, right? Nobody cares what he says anymore. Yeah, so that's true. That was right.
No,
And
but-
everybody loves the new Pope
And
too.
that's
So
what it
Because
this
he's
is doubly.
relatively liberal. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, he is.
In the words of Harry Carey, check out the guy in the sombrero.
Number 4 is Justin Bieber.
Oh,
Why is
sure.
his tongue so white? Is that? That's
He,
drugs.
Right, drugs.
That's a yeast
That's
infection.
drugs. Yeah.
Ew.
It's a yeast infection. It's not
terrible.
Candida.
I guess there's not much to say about him.
No.
Number 3 is Anthony Weiner, least influential. I mean, he did embarrass himself quite a bit this year. I'm not sure he's been influential in any way. Do you guys agree?
He's certainly not influential.
No.
He's infamous now. That's a different. Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, he blew a chance to maybe be influential. I mean,
Yeah.
those early polls showed him looking pretty good over there.
And
in
you know,
New
he
York
was
City.
on Bill Maher's show the other night, and he was talking about the Affordable Care Act in a way that you never see Democrats talk about it. And he's right. And he was, you know, he's a single payer guy, and he still could speak out for ACA. So it was really, you know, a guy that has the
insane.
gift. He's like Bill Clinton in a lot of ways. So he has a gift of oratory, and he can really make the point in the way you want, but he can't keep his thing in his pants, you know, literally.
Well, it's no coincidence that his wife, Huma, worked for
with
Hillary and is probably going to be her
Yeah.
number one person when she runs. But I totally agree. I watched one of the New York City mayoral debates,
Right.
and he was so good. If you could just remove
Yes.
his dick from the whole thing,
Yes.
Yeah.
he really was
Yeah.
good. And it's a shame that it
And you know
worked out.
what? And this past Friday, everybody's celebrating John F. Kennedy, and you know, people forget that he was such a womanizer that like he made no bones about it to Jackie. Like, hey, I'm going to do this, and you can't stop me. And she looked at it as a challenge. And then she realized it was more of a challenge than she wanted because he was really fucking around, you know.
Right.
And still, but guys like Chris Matthews, they don't have any problem with John F. Kennedy, but they point the finger at Anthony Weiner. And by the way, did you know that John F. Kennedy? I was looking at unknown quotes of his. One was, "I need another parade like I need a hole in my head." He actually said that, and he didn't say that.
Oh, I was like, damn.
Wow.
Jimmy.
I went with you. Yeah.
All of us are like,
No, it's a joke, obviously. It's the same reaction I got on Sam Cedar's show. Okay, here we go.
Okay, we got to get through this list. So number 2 is Paula Deen. I would disagree with this, even though.
I disagree too, Anna.
Yeah, okay, so I want to hear your reasoning first.
Just because, if nothing else, it started that conversation again.
Absolutely.
Many people all across this country had to have that conversation about your use of the N-word and when it's okay and when it's not and if it's ever and whatever. So anytime you just ignite that type of national conversation, you got to get some credit for influence.
Yeah, and
as negative as it was.
And then Don Lemon had to try to figure out which word was worse, cracker or the N-word. Tough call.
Really tough.
Tough call,
Yeah.
Don Lemon.
That was one of the best hour
It
specials.
was an hour. They spent an hour, couldn't figure it out. Need a whole hour to figure this out. I could figure it out in 2 seconds. Go ahead.
Number 1, which I also disagree with, is Dennis Rodman, least influential.
He's influential.
I think he's influential, and I'll explain why. So Dennis Rodman is literally the only person in the United States that can have a conversation with the dictator of North Korea, which is incredible. So say what you want to say about him. He might be. By the way, GQ feels that this is treason. I don't know if I would really agree with that. I think having a conversation with someone that's so closed off is important. I mean, look what happened with Iran recently. You know, diplomacy is important. And I'm not saying that Dennis Rodman is the key to diplomacy, but if you can use him as some sort of tool to start a conversation, I mean, that's a good thing. And to say that he's the least influential person of 2013 is ridiculous. And look, I totally understand. Dennis Rodman is a questionable character. And he's doing it for his own self-interest. He's not really concerned about diplomacy or the well-being of the United States or relations with North Korea.
Are you saying it has something to do with the vodka brand that he just came out with this
It
week?
might.
You think
It
has
might.
something?
You know, you think he's a shady character? I think he should start a new trend of wearing sunglasses on Sunday morning morning programs. He was on with George Snuffleupagus, and he had the shades on doing the whole thing. And George was giving him a hard time, right? Because he saves all his tough questions for ex-basketball players. And he goes, "Didn't you feel that a responsibility to ask him questions about his human rights violations?" I'm like, it's Dennis Rodman, George. The toughest question I expect him to ask is this North or South Korea?
Yeah.